This is the world's largest batter factory. This is ID Fresh Foods' state-of-the-art manufacturing unit at Anekal, Bangalore. In a few seconds, you will be taken on a live tour of the facility by the CEO of ID Fresh Food, PC Musthafa, and Chief Manufacturing Officer GLN Murthy. So, take your seats and get ready for a walkthrough of the world's largest batter factory.
Hi, I am PC Musthafa, CEO of ID Fresh.
Hi, I'm Murthy, Chief Manufacturing Officer of ID Fresh.
Before we start the journey today, let me start with a short story with you. When we started ID around 17 years ago, we had a dream, and the dream had a background. We started very small in a 50 square feet of a kitchen. Myself and my 4 cousins started a journey. All what we had was 50,000 rupees. With that money, we bought one grinder, one mixer, one sealing machine, one weighing scale, and a scooty. Those days, people didn't understand, our family and friends didn't understand what business we were doing. So they wanted to come and see the factory. But we were not very confident of taking them inside the factory. The reason being, it was not something that we can showcase to them or to the world. That day we had a dream that one day we will build a factory where we can take our family and friends inside. I'm very happy to showcase this factory to you today. That today this is one of the largest batter factory in the world, and done in the world-class standards. And the next few minutes, myself and Murthy will take you to the journey. Thank you.
That's inspiring, PC. I think the story actually inspires a lot of people who are actually seeing live here.
Yeah.
But before that, before getting into what we are actually going to show today, or what we are going to see today, I would want to take a backstep and say that some introductions to the factory. This factory is actually situated in Anekal. This is the world's largest factory, batter factory. And here, this is built on 6.5 acres of land. And this factory, where around 296 people work in this factory. And we can churn around 3 lakh parotas per day and around 1 lakh kg of batter per day. So that's the size of this factory. And coming to the next step, where how do we take you people into the factory tour? We have just divided, for the simplicity, we have divided this into 7 steps. The first section where we would want to take is to the raw material area, where we will show the raw material, how we handle the raw material, and then we get into the inside production area through the hygiene gate. We saw the soaking systems, then we saw the grinding system, then we saw the packing, then the fermentation, and then we saw the chilling system and the cold room systems, where we dispatch the material from the cold room to the market.
So Murthy, you have done it multiple times, right? You keep doing it like once in every 2 weeks, right?
Yes, once in every 2 weeks, where the kids from various colleges, various schools keep coming and visiting us. And that's really so nice that the younger generation is actually very keen to actually know how the food is being manufactured, and they show a lot of interest and they come here.
Interesting. And probably this is the first time you're going live, right, with the factory?
Yes, this is the first time we are going live with the factory, and we can.
In fact, we did phase 1 of this campaign last year. We called it Transparency Campaign. The campaign was all about showing the factory live. That time we had fitted cameras in different parts of the same 7 sections and showcased to the world. Of course, we had some feedbacks, and based on that feedback, we thought we'll make it more interactive, right? And that's why this time we thought myself and Murthy will take you to this live tour and make it very interactive with your questions as well. So, all your questions, please put in the inbox on our website. We'll be happy to take questions in 2 batches. The batch 1 will be after we complete this.
After we complete the raw material area,
and then second will be after completing the remaining section. Production section.
Yeah.
So let's go.
Yeah, we'll go.
Thanks. We are now entering the raw material section.
Yeah, this is the raw material section.
Yeah. You want to talk about the raw materials that we use, Murthy?
So I will take them
Yeah.
to the place where we have the raw
So
material.
what are the
and
raw
then
materials
we'll
that we have it here?
So we have for the batter we have rice, the variant of rice what we use, and then we have the fenugreek, and then we have the urad dal.
Yeah.
So these are the three ingredients that go into making the batter
And these are stacked as per the regulatory standards.
as per the
as you
regulatory
as you can
standards,
see here.
and
With
these
the
are.
pallet.
And also the inventory level is very low. It's a just-in-time kind of an inventory.
Yeah.
We don't carry inventory at any level.
So ID's business model itself is built on zero inventory model, right?
Yes.
So zero plays an extremely important role at ID. Zero sometimes is an achievement for us, and throughout the supply chain, we ensure zero.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you want to go to
Yeah.
the?
This is a raw material section where the raw material, you can see that how it's being handled. This is a variety of rice which we use it here, and this is a variety of dal which we use it here, and the fenugreek. These are the only three ingredients that goes into it.
Nothing else, right?
And you see, you always say that only food goes into food.
Yeah.
So that's what we follow
Because
here.
many people ask me this question, right? What else you add in it?
In fact, in some of the kids, when we met 15 days back,
Yeah.
they were very curious to know that, do you add little preservatives?
Or nothing?
So
Or is
said
it
that-
really zero or little?
Yeah, the question which then we had a long discussion. We said that, do you in the house, do anybody have preservatives? They make it fresh and they consume it. That is exactly what we are trying to make it and serve the consumers.
Do you
Now-
also want to talk to them about the mixing, the raw material mixing? that we happen?
I'll tell you. I'll
Yeah.
take it through. So in this section is actually completely controlled by the SCADA, where the rice and the urad dal, these are the two ingredients which actually goes weighed automatically and goes into the conveyors, and this actually then gets into the soaking system. So nobody is here and nobody handles it physically. So it's all automated, SCADA controlled. Once you set up the systems, calibrate and set up the system in the morning, it goes on its own. And
See,
the other
for-
thing is,
for any product, the right raw material and the right process is important to get the right product output, right? Output is nothing but the right input and the right process. So,
yeah, basically,
for example, rice. Do you want to talk about the rice that we use?
yeah, basically, I was since I'm work closely with Mr. Abdul Nazir,
Yeah.
had plenty of stories in it, and the amount of work that has gone into actually identifying a variety of rice is so much that there's a lot of research article we can actually publish in
Do
terms
you know
of
that it took us almost like 1 year to get the product right?
Yes.
Because we had to get the right mix of rice and dal, right? Right variety of rice and dal. A rice variety called ADT37 was what we used in getting this, right batter.
But basically, I think you just gave away the
No, that's okay,
the
Murthy, right?
variant.
So it's not. So we have nothing to hide. The whole, ID's principle, the transparency campaign, is based on nothing to hide. In fact, if anybody want to make use of this, I think we should give away this technology to everyone, and the message spreads across, right? Because the whole thing about what the very very Murthy is, the whole thing is based on transparency, right? So if you have nothing to hide, and this is what you use and showcase to the world, and they can make it at home as well, the same way. They don't have to buy from me only.
Yeah, and that's really inspiring for people to know about that,
Yeah.
where you are actually sharing the knowledge.
In fact,
to the world.
I don't know what you know about it, right? Even some of the startups who are getting into the same business, we have helped them set up with the same set of ingredients and same set of machineries. Not to this level that we've done here, but in a smaller scale.
So you are actually sharing the knowledge, whatever
That's
you
okay,
have.
right?
so
Yeah,
that-
because this is a huge category. We are probably have a 6% market share even in a market like Bangalore. Huge opportunity to grow. So let the category get created. And out here, I think maybe in one of the campaign you should talk about the different varieties of ingredients that we use,
Yeah.
including the specifications, and ensure that it's even the recipe is given out.
Yeah, in fact, I would also want to continue talking on some of the aspects of quality control and quality assurance system what we
Yeah.
have. Like, as you said that almost 1 year it took us for us to actually get to the right variant of rice. Then from there, we also, there's a lot of research that's gone into in terms of what is the kind of, though we are fixed on the variant, now what is the what are the quality parameters that is actually required to actually test for every batch of raw material,
Do you
so
want to
that
talk about
we build in the
do
consistency.
you want to talk about those technical specifications that we test
Yes,
with ID
that's
for
exactly.
every set of raw material?
That's exactly which I wanted to come here. Wherein first is one is the variant, and the second one is we get to the color of the rice,
Okay.
and we get to
For example, the
size of the rice.
rice should be white in color,
Yes,
right?
and
the size.
the size, uniform size.
Okay.
I'll tell you why it's an important parameter when we actually go into the grinding section, which is very critical and important for us to maintain.
What else you test?
And then we test the water absorption,
Okay.
and more importantly, more than anything else, we need to be very particular on the age of the rice,
Okay.
which is very
Maturity.
maturity is very critical. And then we check the viscosity to see that what is the consistently actually it gives to the product.
Initial days we didn't have this test smoothie.
Yes.
And those days, what we used to do was, during September when the new crop comes in, we get complaints from the market, and that's when
So in fact, when I spoke to Mr. Abdul Nazar, he said that we developed this with a lot of common sense.
Yeah.
Now that is actually now built into a scientific, we have actually built in a parameter,
Yeah.
which is more towards getting into
Yeah.
the science on it,
Yeah.
so that we give the product to the consumer every day, the same product to the consumer. So we just need to have that consistency built in. So that is the journey which IDEA has taken over the period of time, and we can proudly say that we are the experts in batter manufacturing.
Thank you. Should we go to the
Yeah, I
next
think
section, please? Yeah.
we can go to the next section,
Sure.
and then so PC, we can take the question after when we go inside.
Yeah. So before next, this is the raw material session, and once this is done, we are now going to enter the production facility, right?
Yes.
Which is in a very controlled environment.
Yes.
And of course, we have to go through the hygiene gate and all of them out there.
Yeah.
Which we will you will showcase how the whole thing works. The safety and security systems work for us, right?
Yeah, because it's a fermented product. It's
Yeah.
a delicate product.
Yeah.
So there's no any other means of controlling the microorganisms. So that's why we just need to be very careful.
Murthy, do you also want to talk about the solar system that we use?
Yeah,
Maybe-
you see, it's not just solar system. It's actually we are driving a lot of initiatives on the sustainability front.
Okay.
So we wanted to keep the society, we give it to the society, and also we wanted to keep the environment safe. And that's in the sustainability. One of the things which actually we have done in Anikal is that this Anikal factory batter production section actually runs on the solar. So we have a 490.
That's a solar system, right?
kWh plant which has been set up here, and this actually constitutes to around 21% of the total power requirement. But for batter, it is completely
100%.
the connected load is 100%.
When are you planning to move to 100% in?
I think it should happen in this financial year.
Okay.
And then so in the next financial year,
Yeah.
we should be looking at targeting 100%. Not only in this factory,
Across all the factories.
across all the factories, we are trying to see that we harness solar and we use the solar energy.
You also want to talk about the other ESG initiatives or sustainability initiatives that we do at ID?
Yeah, this is one. On the similar lines, on all the secondary fleets what we have in the market, we want to get those onto the EV vehicles, electrical vehicles,
Yeah.
so that we don't burn the diesel.
That's the second project, solar
Yeah.
and electric
Yeah.
vehicles.
The third project is on the sustainability when we work with the farmers. So sustainable sourcing,
Okay.
where we are actually trying to help the farmers to grow the rice variants and the dal variants sustainably, and also reduce the water
Reduce
consumption.
water consumption.
Water consumption.
Okay.
And the fourth one is
Are we using some technology for that?
there is alternate dry and wet technology,
Okay.
which is a very simple technology. But only thing is we just need to now enroll more farmers into the
Okay.
system. And the fourth one is we have one of your dream which we are chasing is that you wanted blue collared employees, kids to always aspire and get into white collar job.
jobs, yeah.
So that is one initiative which we are trying.
Fourth.
And the fifth one what we are driving is we wanted to differently able people to be employed here, and we wanted to work with them as well.
Yeah.
So that is the fifth one. And the water and the food waste. Since we are into the food business, so we should actually look at controlling the food waste. And the food, whatever that food waste that we waste, either in the factory or in the distribution system, now we have found a way to actually use that as a cattle feed supplement, animal feed supplement.
Okay.
So that is the
So zero food waste
zero food waste.
throughout the supply chain.
Throughout the supply chain. And also the then the water. So we use a lot of water for all the cleaning purpose and all those things, because we just need to maintain the hygiene of the factory. But those water, again now, especially we are lucky here in Anikal, where we actually give it to almost around 25 to 26 acres of land where they use our water, the treated and processed water. So we treat and then we see that it follows the standards of the
So basically, throughout the supply chain, as of today, in this factory, it's a zero food waste and zero
water waste.
When are you going to implement the zero
We have started doing
zero
it.
Plastic.
Zero plastic. You see, there is a lot of work that's going on onto the zero plastic. It will take some more time to get into it. We are talking to many people where there are technologies available, but the barrier is today, the cost is the barrier. So I think we should be able to break it.
We should get it done. I think that's the dream.
Yes, we should definitely.
Yeah, I think we have some interesting questions. Maybe we can take few questions now before we enter the production facility.
Yeah. Yes, I think. Yeah.
You want to go to the questions, Modi? Or I think I would have probably in my list as well. So I think I'll start, Modi.
Yeah.
This was the question from Paricha Saxena. What transportation medium you use for delivering ID package?
So as I said, that we just spoke of it. Transportation media is that one is we send the material from the factory to the various distribution centers through the refrigerated vehicles, so that we maintain the temperature before it reaches the consumer. And
primary transport.
Yes, and the secondary transport is again with the some are the refrigerated vehicle depending on the distances, and some are the insulated vehicle depending on the distances.
With the what you call the ice box.
Yes, with the ice box. So throughout the supply chain, the temperature maintenance is the key, and which we do it. Okay. Now, as we discussed it, we are also looking at in terms of having the EV vehicles. Yeah. So all these are now done on the diesel. So now we wanted to get into the EV vehicles.
Very good.
I think PC. Can we go inside and come back and take the full questions?
What is it that way? Because I got some questions. Do you want to cover a few more questions?
we can cover one more.
I think maybe we can take maybe 2-3 minutes more.
Yeah.
Next question is from Karan Gomez. When will you start providing ready-to-eat idiyappam and appams which are available in UAE but not in India? So maybe I'll take this. It all depends on the market. We had actually tried this product in this market earlier. It didn't work out, but we could look at relaunching those products in this market.
Maybe we were too early now. Now this is the right time to come back.
Right time, yeah, we can. Sure. How do you ensure consistency of raw material quality? I think Murthy answered that. Maybe do you want to?
Yeah, I will again elaborate it. There are few parameters which are set in. It's the grain size, it's the water absorption, it's the viscosity, and the color, and the age of the rice. So these parameters are non-negotiable. Whenever the material comes in, these are checked and we accept it. And so far, we have been working with the suppliers who are with us for last almost 10-12 years. They also understand our requirement, and it's jointly we are working together, and we have not seen any incidences wherein we had to reject anything like that.
Yeah, we had issues during the when the new crop comes in.
Yes.
That part when we introduce maturity level testing, I think got the issues
taken
resolved,
care
right? By the way, that is a question from Suman Pal. The next question is from Shadadi Deb. Is Anikal only factory for ID? Do the products get supplied across India from here? Answer is no. We have 5 factories today. One in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Mumbai, Delhi, and one in Dubai. Ajman.
And the philosophy here is that we need to have factories which are very close to the market. So we don't want to. It's next to impossible, or not really good to actually transport it to other places from here. So hence we have the nodal factories. Of course, this is the largest factory, but we aspire to have those factories also to be very, very large.
Yeah. And there was one more question from Ranjida Swami. How long did it take to build the factory? I'll take this question on behalf of my cousin who built this factory.
Yes.
Right, Mr. Abdul Nasser, as you mentioned, he is the person who actually built this factory. It took us almost like 3 years to complete this factory.
Yeah.
Do you also want to talk about the money that we spend on building this factory?
Yeah, I think we have spent close to around 46 CR for building this.
That's only for the
plant and
machinery.
machineries.
The land and building was extra.
Yes.
That was done by the landlord for sure. Okay, so
I
maybe
think-
we have a few more questions. Maybe I think.
I think we come back.
we can come
We
back.
get into the
Yeah.
production
Let's
section.
now get into the production
Yeah.
facility. Thank you.
So here, before we get into the production section, what is very very critical and important is that the product when we go and see there the products, so we wanted to keep the products very safe, and hence it's very critical and important that we go through a lot of hygiene gears to be worn and a lot of hygiene protocols to be kept in mind,
Okay.
so that the product inside is safe.
Do you want to talk about the different hygiene checks that we do before someone is allowed inside the factory, including people like you and me?
Yeah, one is the entries are always restricted unless and until it's with permission to go. Even the people in the factory also, nobody is allowed to carry the mobiles, nobody is allowed to wear the rings, or nobody is allowed to wear the watches and all those things. And by the time,
hand over my
please, you can hand it over. And
phone as well?
Yeah, phone, yes, phone also.
It's okay.
Yeah. So now there's always a person here to see that all these checks are taken care of, and only then it goes. And she's very particular in terms of even pulling the head cap, and the ears are covered, and there's no.
You did the makeup for me already.
Yes. So that's how we take care of the hygiene thing. And as we go inside, I will show you. It's not even after having known all these things, it's not easy that you can enter it.
Okay.
Whereas you know that.
I know
It's-
that,
it's-
but
yeah.
for the audience out here, I
So
think it's better to.
It is very very important that people follow the protocol, and it is auto control. If you don't follow the protocol, the gate will not open to you.
By the way, this is
That's
the
all.
isolation room, right?
Yes.
This is the isolation room. You have air curtains here.
Yes.
And multiple layers of air curtains, and then entry happens.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
We'll
let's Now enter the production facility.
Yeah. You can have the hand
Okay.
wash.
So hand wash first.
Yes, hand wash with the detergent or the
Dryer. then dry.
sanitizers, and then you need to dry your hands.
So the hygiene facilities along these lines. You need to dress up properly, cover your head, right?
Yes.
And then wash, dry.
And also you have a mirror to cross check whether
Yeah, yeah.
your ears are fully covered.
Sure. Then only you're allowed to enter.
Yes.
But my favorite is this one.
Yeah, you
I
can.
was- so I'll probably demonstrate this for the team or the audience out there, right? This is a safety gate. It washes your shoes first.
First is it washes your shoes.
Yes. And then you can enter.
Yes.
But
You
I'm
can't
wrong.
go like that. You
I'm
have to
wrong.
go
I
and
can't enter.
sanitize it.
I can enter only when I sanitize.
Yes.
So I go to the sanitization, right? Done. Then I can enter.
So the foot is also it's sanitized. So there is a solution there, where the foot also gets sanitized.
Okay.
And then whether the sanitization has happened or not, you will get actually the green button there.
Yes.
So where the sanitizer has come into it, and then there are also checks. The checks is that we take swabs of the people who are working here.
Okay.
Every alternate day kind of thing, and then we see that what is the microbial load that they actually have in each brand, and it's perfectly fine. And we keep validating the strength of the solutions what we use it then, which also it should be safe for the people who are working here. And
By the way, this was the part 2, right? This
Yes.
is the part 2 of the
this is the part 2 of the
7-phase
yes.
that we are doing today.
Now we
We
enter
are done
into
with
the
2 parts today.
raw material
And the
and the
hygiene.
hygiene station.
Okay, now we are going
Now
to
we
the
are getting into the
production system.
production section. This is where the batter production happens in multiple sections. Here again we have multiple sections. The soaking section is the next one where we are actually going.
Okay.
I will talk about the soaking sections in terms of what exactly. So now we saw that in the raw material area in the conveyor that the grains were actually flowing.
Yeah.
So it is a completely automatic SCADA control.
Yeah.
So nobody touches anything, and only once a day they just calibrate to see that right amount of dal, right amount of rice, right amount of fenugreek is moving.
Okay.
So and then automatically it goes into.
But do we also check the the recipe or mix?
Yes.
In
There is an auto
frequency?
check.
Okay.
Auto check. We can actually, every minute, anybody can check that. There are systems where people, the quality system will actually keep monitoring it, like how they monitor the online things. So online it can be monitored in terms of what quantity of rice is going into which particular batch.
Okay.
So all those things are there. And now in the soaking system, this is exactly the way how they do it at home. It's simple and very natural, but only thing is it's automated. So
And in a large scale,
in a
probably
large
at home we will be probably soaking half kg rice.
Yes.
Here you will probably soak 5,000 kg rice. That's the difference, right?
The capacity of the soaking system is close to around 6,000 to 8,000. So right now we are running this facility at
8,000 in a batch?
6,000 kg per hour.
Okay.
So there is multiple soaking tanks, around 6 tanks are there. So it's sequentially done because we need to control the soaking time.
Yeah.
The soaking time is also controlled, like just like how it didn't allow us to come if we don't sanitize your hand.
True.
Similarly, if it is not soaked properly, it will not allow to, it will not go further.
Okay.
So it's auto control. So the time and the temperature and the quantity of water, everything is auto controlled. So once the soaking cycle is completed, then the product moves to the next section.
But where do we do the washing?
So this soaking section, like in house, what we do is we put it into a vessel, rice and dal, and we soak it. Then after soaking, we wash the rice in the water. In the same water, we first drain it
But
out and then
we probably use our hands to wash it properly,
Yes,
right?
yes.
How do you do that?
So
You have some agitator here?
There's an agitation system, and also there is a velocity that gets created in the pipelines.
Okay.
So those things get washed, and like how we do a sieving at our home, where we try to sieve it through some siever or by hand also. The crude method is by hand. They take it for the grinding.
True.
Here we have an automated sieving system,
Okay.
where the water comes out of the grains, and only the soaked grains go further.
And the entire water used for soaking, washing, grinding, everything is RO purified. Is that
Yes,
right?
it's RO
All right.
completely. So whatever water we use in the factory is completely RO.
Completely. Only for the cleaning part you might be using
We use the raw.
raw water. Yeah. Cleaning meaning the floor cleaning and stuff like
Yes,
that, right?
yes.
Okay.
Not the vessel cleaning is again RO water.
RO water,
because
RO
these are all stainless steel equipment
yeah.
which we wanted to maintain it well
Okay.
for a longer period of time, and hence we use only RO water for all these things.
Okay.
And this is the soaking system.
So before we move to the next session, this is part 3 of this one, right? Might be also a good idea for us to tell the audience on why is it important to follow the traditional, soaking system that our grandmothers used to follow at home. And how long do you soak?
So here we soak it for almost close to around 45 minutes to 1 hour.
Okay.
Where we get the right texture of the grain. And since, as I said earlier, that there are parameters which are defined for the raw material in terms of the moisture absorption.
Okay.
So we ensure here that this time period actually ensures that the exact amount of moisture is absorbed by the grain.
Okay.
So that is very.
So
very
based on the raw
important.
material quality, you configure the
Yes.
what you
we
call
configure
the
we
soaking
configure the
soaking time.
Soaking.
Okay.
And so when it is soaked, it's all like grandmothers used to do it by touching their hands and do it. So the same thing exactly
grandmother is here.
we have just followed that. We have just followed that. My grandfather is actually Mr. Abdul Nazir. So we just follow the same process, and we just built it automatically. That's it, in a larger scale. But simply we just wanted to make the product the same way how it is made at home.
Yes.
So that is the whole purpose and idea with which we have designed this. And these equipments are not available readily on any shelf for us to actually get it. Lot of research has gone into it, and the way it's been built, equipments which were actually for a different purpose were actually specially made for this. So that is how it's configured, and we are enjoying it. So there's hardly any people, and automatically without hand touch, everything is
on the
just
whole
moving
floor. I mean, for the whole session, wherein we grind around 1 lakh kg of batter a day, we have 2 people here.
And I'll tell you, we have people at some place where you will see that there I need a people.
Okay.
Because
I'll
take you there
will
when
take
we move there.
Okay.
So
I'm saying for the entire raw material handling, soaking, grinding is completely automated.
Completely.
Just with 2 people on the floor.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And so it's also a lot of control. All the systems in terms of the QA systems, the quality control systems. The person who we are actually showing, 2 people, they actually do quality assurance, quality control job as well in terms of picking up the sample and keep checking it constantly
Okay.
to see that everything is as per the plan, what is required.
Perfect.
And from here, let's move to the grinding section, PC. That's the grinding section. And before I move into the grinding section, I just wanted to, because you have been talking on that stories, which I just wanted to hear that story once more on the grinding. which
You heard it multiple times from Murthy. So the grinder story, we had a very interesting grinder story, right? So as I mentioned during the initial, initial few seconds of the journey or the tour, we started very small. With that 50,000 rupees, we bought one grinder, mixer, all of them, right? And that grinder was the traditional wet grinders we, you see some people use in the hotels, right? Which grinds around 1.5 kg of dal per hour. Now the issue with that grinder is it is the right grinder to use. Stone grinder wet grinding technology is the right grinder to use. You get the right batter, because if you get the right batter, you can get the right idli or right dosa. To get the right idli or right dosa, you need to get the right batter, and that can be done only when you follow the traditional wet grinding technology our grandmothers used to make at home, which is stone grinding wet grinding technology. Now the problem with that is these grinders available in India grind 1.5 kg of rice and dal per hour, right? Today, as you mentioned, 8,000 kg of dal or rice per hour, right? You can imagine the number of grinders required, number of people required, the quality consistency issue that comes along with it, the hygiene risk that comes along with it. It is not practically possible for us to scale up to this level. And that's when we thought we should do some innovation in terms of the back end. Because for a manufacturing company, technology is not just about the mobile apps and internet, right? It's all about the manufacturing process as well. That's where we started investing. This was 10 years ago when we didn't have money, right? And that time we thought, is there any world-class, wet grinders, stone grinding based technology, wet grinders available in the world? Because we couldn't find anything to that level in India. And as you know, most of the food processing machineries are innovated in Germany, and we bring it here, customize it, and get it done. Unfortunately, Germans don't eat idli dosa, right?
Yeah.
So we had nothing to copy from, but we still ended up going to Germany and identified a mustard paste making machine, right? Got the machine, brought it here, customized to make batter out of it. As you can see now, these grinders grind around 5,000 kg of 6,000 kg. One grinder grinds 6,000 kg of batter per hour, right? We are able to take to this level only because we invested at the right time in the right technology, which is the world-class machineries. Yeah, that was the story.
So in fact, I think you keep having a lot of stories. How do you actually get so many stories?
Murthy, the life of an entrepreneur is all about stories, right? The story of jugaads, the story of failures, story of success, right? So that's what makes it.
Yeah, that's what I see, that you keep actually addressing so many masses to actually educate them and to keep inspiring people. That's wonderful. And also here with a vision of actually making the world a better place and a happier place. And no other better day for you to actually talk on this kind of stories.
Other than the World Idli Day.
That's fantastic. So just quickly, I would want to take the viewers in terms of what the grinder is. And
why don't you probably tell us about the technical aspects of the grinder?
Yeah. So
because I think for this whole plant, this is the most important aspect.
Most important aspect. And at the same time, when we actually soak and send the product into the grinding section, it actually grinds it into we have a very narrow range of particle sizes.
Yeah.
That is very, very critical for our product because that gives it gives a grainy idli and it gives a soft and fluffy idli. And it's a fantastic dosa, crispy dosa.
Yeah.
So that's the research that has gone into in terms of what should be the particle size.
Right particle size.
Right particle size. And that's how we were actually able to select the grinders and select the blades and the spectrum of blades, what is actually required to actually get to this kind of consistent.
There's a lot of science behind it.
Lot of science behind it. And it's a very simple single pass grinding system.
Lot of science but no chemicals.
No chemicals.
Yeah.
And it can run 24/7 for so many years.
Yeah.
And very easy to clean it. The CIP system in place, and it can get easily cleaned, and the maintenance is also very, very simple. So the art of the grinder is the one big motor and the head of the grinder, which we maintain it every day to see that it's properly cleaned and the blade orientation is perfectly
You
there.
also have a CIP system in place, right?
Yes.
Cleaning, what is it called? Cleaning process.
Cleaning in place.
Cleaning in place, right?
So the
And
grinders are
with the
there.
switch of a button.
Yes, automatically it gets clean.
And what's the frequency of cleaning?
Frequency of cleaning is before we start the production, we have to clean it, and after we complete the production, we have to.
And if you take a break after that also?
Yes, any break in between, if it is there, obviously we'll have to clean it. And that is the key in the fermented product. The frequent cleaning is very, very key, so that there is no over fermentation that happens, and so that there is no other any organism that actually can come into the system and then spoil the
Great.
system.
That was
So
that was the part 4.
Yes.
Right.
And of course, so it's a continuous process. So in the continuous process, the critical parameters, what we actually check as from the quality control point of view and from the assurance point of view is that the consistent viscosity. There's a narrow range of particle size. That is one thing, which is actually set when the machine is running.
Yep.
The narrow range of viscosity range, which is the second thing. That's how you would see that the product quality is consistent day in and day out.
Yep.
So the narrow range of viscosity is actually determined by the quantum of water that is added and the particle size of the grains which is grinded. And that's how it is tested. Even though there is automatic systems available, we still try to keep testing it so that we are doubly sure before it gets dispatched to the ground.
I think before we move to the next session, Murthy, let me also share one more interesting business aspect of this whole, fresh business model, right? When the whole world was trying to add chemicals and preservatives in the food and thereby extending the product shelf life, we took a different journey. Our journey was, let's keep the product natural and sell it fresh. And during the journey, one of the most important things that we have learned is a zero inventory model.
Yes.
Right? Zero inventory model is not just about the finished goods. Throughout the supply
At
chain,
every place.
right? As you mentioned when we visited the raw material session, we keep very minimal inventory, right? So from there onwards, right? Throughout this factory, which is a work in progress, you will see zero stock. By end of the day today, you will not have even one packet or 1 kg of batter or any of the work in progress ingredients in the supply chain, right? The whole thing that you started from the raw material session would have become battered and packed by that time, right? By end of the day. And even after that, the product is not ready for dispatch. Product has to be fermented overnight. By tomorrow morning, the product, tomorrow early morning, the product goes to the market. Whatever you manufacture today, it gets fermented and ready to go to market tomorrow morning.
Even in the house, PC, people
same thing.
soak
Same thing that
today
we do at home,
and
right?
Grind it
Yeah.
and keep it overnight. The next day morning, it's used for the breakfast.
So, one thing that we do here is, I mean, you will probably the best person to talk about that, right? The whole thing is driven with the help of technology
Yes.
and the supply chain management system in such a way that we keep literally zero inventory. So, if you walk into this factory tomorrow morning, after the dispatch, you will find 0 packs left,
Yes.
right? That's the zero inventory model across. And for a fresh food business, zero inventory is very, very key. In fact, for any business, if you can achieve zero inventory, that's the best thing to happen.
Yeah, as we
Yeah.
talk,
Yeah.
we can move into the packing section.
Yeah.
So this is the now we have covered grinding, we have covered soaking.
We talked
have
about
covered raw
all
material.
the automated sessions.
Yes.
Now we are going to a session where we have a lot of people out there, right? So do you want to talk about the workforce here?
Yeah, so the entire batter factory here where we produce around 1 lakh kgs of batter, we will be we are having a workforce of around 64 people, and of the 64 people, close to around 50% is the women workforce here.
Okay.
And which I call them as super women.
Okay.
Because they do the job more than any other machines which can do it.
Yeah.
The way they pack the batter, and every pack, weighing the packs and seeing that the right quantity is packed into each pack and sealing it.
Interestingly, they're faster than the machine, right?
They are faster than the machine,
And
we
more accurate than the machines.
and also we didn't want to, yeah, definitely more accurate because each pack is weighed.
Yeah, yeah.
And we also saw that we wanted to have a very natural way of packing, because we didn't want to put it through the pump and push any.
The product quality get affected, right?
We didn't actually want to do any pressure building tactic there. And that's how it's as natural as it is done at home. And as I said that, after packing, the products are actually kept for fermentation.
Okay.
It's in a normal condition, like how after grinding, where we keep it in the vessel at home, where the fermentation starts. So once we feel that the right consistency is attained, the right pH is attained. So actually, in the house, we don't have a pH meter, we don't have a viscosity meter. It's all done on practice,
common sense,
by the common sense. So those things we have tried to replicate it in the factory with some science parameters.
So what are the different technical aspects of the product that you test before it is getting dispatched?
Before it is getting dispatched, one is we definitely check the pH. What should be the pH, the right pH, because as
which is check the fermentation level, right?
Yes, which is check the fermentation level, and it is very important that as we said earlier also that at home they make it and they actually allow it overnight. So similarly here, what we do is the product whatever is manufactured today, which is kept in the cold room after this, is going into the consumer next day morning, early morning. So we actually start dispatching it somewhere at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the night, and the next day early morning it goes. So we are trying to replicate what actually happens at the house. So that is the first part. And here if you see, after fermentation, we check the pH parameters, and we also check the viscosity to see that there is a consistency in the thickness of the product.
What are the quality control measures that we take here in terms of product testing before it is going into the next session?
On the chemical parameters, I already spoke about. And
the physical parameters.
The physical parameters, which is very, very key, is that we actually have a metal detector system, wherein we try to see that every pack goes through the metal detector. That's the critical control point, which is very, very important to have it. And then after this metal detection, after the fermentation, it goes into the hydro chilling stations.
Okay. That's the fermentation.
That's the first is we just bring down the
chilling session.
We bring down the temperature of the batter to, let's say, around 14-15 degrees centigrade, and then we store it overnight in the cold room, so that the batter is ready for dispatch there. Yeah.
So after the metal detector test, it goes through this gate, right? Or this belt to the chiller.
Yes.
So this was what? The part 6.
This is the part 6.
Part 6, right?
6 part of it.
Part 6 part of the.
Okay.
Now so we started with the raw material session, then we went to the hygiene gate, then we went to the soaking session,
then grinding
session, packing section, and then
fermentation
and the quality control.
Quality control system.
Now the last session we are going to the
chilling section.
Okay.
Where the batter is chilled.
Chilling is very, very important. So there was very, very interesting stories from day one of the plant, right?
Yeah. So I would want you to tell about that story as we go down to the chilling.
Let's see the chiller first.
Yeah.
So we will, once we are done with chiller session, we will be done with the factory tour.
Yes.
But I think we have a lot of questions lined up.
Okay.
Right. I mean, even the part 1 of the session, we could not take all the questions, right?
So
after this, we will go back and take all the questions.
We will take that.
Okay. This is the
This is where the hydro chilling system is. Before that, I just wanted you to talk about the background story on how we actually got into this hydro chilling, invention of hydro chilling in India.
So the hydro chiller is not something which I know. Even today, I don't know about, right? It's all done by my cousin and people like you. So the initial days when we started, we had a small setup, right, as I told you, right? And then we had this. Those days we didn't know that the product has to be chilled, right? So we sent to the market, and in the summer we learned, the product gets fermented, the packet it forms gas, the packet expands, and sometimes the packet explodes as well, right? And you know about that bomb blast story that I shared one day with you, right? So the situation was, we had to find a jugaad approach to cool or chill the product. So we took this what you call the chest freezer available, right? Were in the market, and we fill ice box, ice water in it, right? And then try to cool the product, and that worked. And then the product temperature is, because if you take it to a proper, those days we didn't have money, right, to set up a large cold room and stuff like that. So the only option was we need to find some jugaad approach to get it done. So we use this freezer as a hydro chiller, right? And where did the idea come from? The kulfi story, right? To make kulfi, people follow this approach. So inspired by the kulfi approach, we thought, why don't we try for the batter as well? And that worked. And from the journey, we learned that the best way to get the product chilled, not the freezer, not the frozen product, to get the product chilled to right temperature is to follow the hydro chiller approach, right? Which is followed in small scale in India by kulfi manufacturers, right? Which we used during the initial days of ID. But when we set up a large factory, that idea didn't work out. So we had to go to Italy, right, to identify a hydraulic chilling system which they use for their product, and that's how this was done.
Yeah, in fact, it's a huge one.
Yeah, it's a huge one.
Because the capacity what we are talking of around 6,000 to 8,000 kgs of product coming in per hour, and that is a huge mammoth facility, wherein again here every packet is individually chilled to the same temperature.
Yes.
If I need to have a 14 to 15 degrees centigrade, every packet attains at 14 to 15.
And every part of the pack is same temperature.
Even in the center of the pack, you see that the product is chilled to 14 to 15 degrees.
Yeah, because when you do the quality checking, right, the quality control, the random test that you do, right, you test the inside part, right, and ensure that the whole place has the same temperature.
Yes.
So when we tried other options, the biggest issue was with the batter that we follow today, which is thick, right? It is very difficult to get the product chilled inside, the inside portion of the batter.
Chilling the pack is always...
That's the hydro chiller idea.
That's why we got it. And from here, it goes into the cold store, where it will be conditioned overnight before it reaches to the consumer next day morning.
Yes.
I think with this PC, we are done with the factory tour, where we have covered all the sections in the factory to show it to our viewers. And let us quickly get into the question and answers section, and then let's try to answer.
Perfect, let's do that.
Yes.
Thank you. So, you also want to talk about the technical specifications of this chiller that we use, Murthy?
The technical specification is an hydro chiller. So it's water is a media which is used for chilling the packets.
Yeah.
The force chilling of packets, and the packets will be spiraling around, and the chilled water will be sprayed so that every particle inside the packet is chilled within the period of 10 to 12 minutes. That's the thing. And this, as I said, that this is going to take around 6,000 to 8,000 kgs of batter per hour. That's chilling capacity.
By the way, we are back on the hygiene gate, right? And by the way, this is...
it's not possible. It's not possible.
Yeah. Thank you.
So it's the system is one way. So only one can enter into the factory with the hygiene gates.
Okay. Okay, we can take it off. Thank you. Can I get my phone and... Yeah, thank you. My watch. Thank you. Should we go to the QA part? Are they?
Yeah, please. I think you will be having a lot of questions.
Yeah.
You can remove the cap now. So now we are out of the factory.
Thank you. I'll give you. Okay, let's take a few questions.
Yeah. I think it would have bombarded into your mobile.
So, Neha Bose asked a question, right? Why do you take your factory live only on one day? Why not every day? I think a good question. That's my dream. One day, I think we'll reach the stage where every day we can show it live. The only thing is, this day we thought I will personally come in along with Murthy and take you through a good, interactive tour, and that we can't do every day. But taking the factory life and live streaming a manufacturing process every day is something which we will really plan.
And also, busy in the current the where when they scan and get into the live. So we also have the forms where if anybody is interested to visit our factory, they can actually fill in their forms, and we are happy to take them into the factory.
Yeah. So and that's a fortnightly activity,
yes,
right?
Fortnightly.
2 days in a month.
2 days in a month.
Your time is dedicated,
yes,
for a factory
to,
visit.
Yeah, factory
Whoever want to visit,
yes.
You will also give them a good lunch, right?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. And next question, Murthy, is there are different types of rice available. Which type of rice do you use for this batter, and where do you source it from? The question was from Priyanka.
You already said.
Yeah.
That,
So we use idli rice available. The variety name is called ADT37, and that's available mostly from Tamil Nadu.
Mostly from Tamil Nadu region.
Yeah. Next question, what inspired you to bring innovation in packaging of the products? ID brand focuses on products and packaging equally. Bindu Sharma. I'll probably take this question, Murthy. The best way is to build a strong brand and to stay ahead of competition is innovation. Because you can't do a price war with the competition, right? So there's no rocket science in making idli dosa batter. There's no entry barrier. Anybody with the 1 lakh rupee investment can go ahead and start idli batter business tomorrow. You can start a factory of yours tomorrow. But the most important thing was for us to continuously innovate, upgrade ourselves, and thereby stay ahead of competition. And that's why we focused on the innovation part, and packaging plays an extremely important role at ID in our innovation journey. So maybe I'll take a few more minutes to explain this. The packaging is usually used for in other companies for taking a product from place A to place B.
Yes.
Either from factory to distribution center to the stores, and from stores to homes. Right? At ID, we thought we can do packaging more than what a traditional packaging solution works, right? Or packaging usability use case work. So one thing that we do is we use a packaging to pass a very cocky message, right, in their language. For example, on a packaging, coffee packaging, as you can see, right, we tell them to show off, right, pour between the cups, right. So that's the kind of tonality we use in terms of communicating with the customers. Second aspect is use packaging to maintain the quality of the product or preserve the quality of the product. Since we can't add chemicals and preservatives in the food, if the product has to be preserved,
it's very strong packaging.
You need to have the right packaging solution, right? So thereby, we use the right film and right barrier of packaging to ensure that the product is preserved. We don't add chemicals and preservatives in the food, but packaging is done in such a way that the product is preserved throughout the shelf life. Second. And third one, and probably the most important thing, is to give a memorable user experience for a customer, right? So something that you try for the first time is something that you will remember for your lifetime, right? So if you look at a vada pack, when you squeeze the vada pack, when the vada batter comes out in the round shape with the perfect hole in the middle, right? That's like a wow moment for many customers. Yes. When we launched this product, kids started taking selfie and posting it on Insta, right? So the packaging is used for transporting a product from finished goods from place A to place B, to communicate with the customers in the language, to bring in the shelf life for the product without adding chemicals and preservatives in the food, and most importantly, giving a memorable user experience for the customer.
You missed one more, Prissy. Our packaging, the batter packaging, which is a boat-shaped packaging, can directly sit on the shelf of the kitchen, and they can use it, use it from there directly and pour it. So that's a very, very convenient packaging.
Okay, good. I think the next question, how do you manage the quality of the products? And the question was from Samnaj MK.
Yeah, there's lot of there's lot of places where we have discussed that what is the quality assurance test we have, what is the quality assurance system what we have it, right from raw material to the in process to the final dispatch. The various parameters are constantly being checked to see that we get the consistent product day in and day out, and every packet is actually meeting the same standards what we set in for all the packets. So that is be it we start from the raw material, the testing of raw material to see that we get the right raw material inside the factory, the testing of in-house production at every stage, be it at soaking, be it at grinding, and be it at packing, and be it at fermentation, and then finally the last difference is it passes through the metal detection system and then goes to the chilling system. The temperature is the key until it reaches the consumer. The cold chain maintenance till it reaches the consumer is the key, which we do it every day for all the packs. So that's how we maintain the quality of.
So the next question is from Shilpa. The question is, how long does it last once it comes to Mumbai? So it doesn't come to Mumbai; it gets manufactured in Mumbai. We have a plant in a place called Bhiwandi in Mumbai, and entire requirement of battered parathas gets manufactured in our Bhiwandi plant.
Well, while you had seen the factory here, exact replica of the same factory with respect to the principles and systems what we follow, the factory is this we do around 1 lakh kg per day, whereas in Bhiwandi we will be able to do around 50,000 kgs per day. So that's
smaller in size,
but smaller in size. The principles are same.
Yeah. And by the way, all the 5 plants that we have, we follow same principles.
Same principles. And same grinding system.
Same grinding system, same security gate,
Yes,
or same hygiene gate.
everything.
And the next question is from a business accountant from Kannur. There are a lot of appreciation for what we are doing, but I'll come to the rest of the question. Do you take back the unsold products from the market? If yes, what do you do with it? Answer is very simple. If you look at our entire business model, is done in such a way that we keep products in the shelf, for 3-4 days. If the product shelf life is better as 7-day shelf life, we keep it for 3 to 4 days in the market. We take it back from the market before expiry and give it to a restaurant channel or a B2B channel at a discounted price before expiry itself. And whatever we could not be disposed in that channel, we use for feeding the needy people on the street. So we have a separate project, a social project, wherein we use this unsold batter, make idlis and chutneys out of it, and develop or give it as a
all
finished,
within the
finished
shelf.
food,
All
finished
within the shelf life.
all within the shelf life, finished good to the people on the street who are needy. Interestingly, I tried this product. The more it is fermented, better the taste
Better
of
the
idli.
taste of the idli,
So
yes.
they're very lucky that they get best taste of idli.
Yes.
Right. Okay, next one. When can we start getting ID bread in UAE market? The question is from Amy Matthew. We don't have an immediate plans, maybe a couple of quarters more.
Yes.
Yeah. Because we have started bread in Bangalore, testing it, and then once that is done, I think maybe it'll take around at least 2 years for us to
Do
get.
you want to talk on the challenges on making this no preservative?
Yeah.
that is because this is actually linked to that.
I think the lot of questions linked to that. Maybe I'll take this question and come back to that.
Yeah.
Question. Next one is, if you want to understand your expansion plans, when can we see ID Fresh Food across country, especially north? We are already available in Delhi.
We
right?
just started the factory 5-6 months back,
Yeah.
and we are already available in Delhi. As I said, that exactly the same replica of this plant, but a smaller plant.
Okay. There is one question from Hamsa Leka. Can you show us the paratha and chapati making section as well? Good question. Today, it's a World Idli Day, so it will be unfair for me to take you to other plant. We will create a World Paratha Day or World Chapati Day one day and make it happen.
Yes.
Coming soon.
Maybe we'll do it on a World Food Day or something.
I have a very disappointing question to you. After doing all these things, there was one question. What kind of preservatives did you use?
So that is what the whole objective of this is to show it to the team, show it to the viewers that we exactly do the product the same way how it is done at home. So when there's no preservative that is added at home, that is the principle which we follow. We don't add any preservative. It's only the food that goes into it, and very simple foods: rice, dal, and fenugreek. These are the 3 ingredients.
Nothing
that
else.
goes into it.
So if you look at your theme itself, right, it's food, only food. If an ingredient is something which a grandmother cannot understand, it is not ID. ID is all about 100% natural, zero chemicals, zero preservative journey. And it's not easy. It's a war against chemicals and preservatives. And traveling the journey, we go through a lot of challenge. Maybe I think we're running out of time today.
Yes.
We can take that on a different day. But then it's a story by itself. I think all of us go through the journey, right?
Yeah.
You need to get up early morning, right? And ensure that you come into the plant and everything is in place.
Yeah, I think
Our sales team has to get up like 2 in the morning,
yes.
right? And ensure that the product reaches the store, before the world is awake.
World is awake.
Why
Yes.
is that? Because if I add a little bit of chemicals and preservatives in the food, so the benefit for us is we can get longer shelf life, right? And better storage facility. We don't have to keep it in fridge in chiller. Thereby, you can expand.
That's very easy to do.
Very easy to do.
It's very easy.
Right?
We have taken a hard path.
Yeah, we have taken a hard path. And if I add a little bit of chemicals and preservatives in this one, nobody will notice it, right? Our employees won't know about it. Our customers won't know about it. Regulatory team is okay because it's within the regulatory norms, right? No one knows about it except the Almighty God,
Yes.
right? And I believe every moment of mine, and for all of us, Almighty God watches us,
Yes.
right? So as long as I have that belief, I will not add any chemicals and preservatives and
I think-
keep it 100% fresh and fight a war against chemicals and preservatives in the food. And this journey just started.
And I think basically there's a lot of questions which will keep coming in.
Yes.
And we can ask the viewers to write to us,
Yes.
For any further clarification. And as I said that we should, the factory is open. Anytime anybody wants to visit, so we have a fortnightly visit schedule for all the viewers, so they can come and visit. So all this they need to do is to just send us the
Yes,
information.
we'll be happy to host you. Thank you again for joining us today.
Thank
We'll
you.
be happy to take any other questions from you. Please post. And if any of you want to visit our factory, fill up the form, and you're welcome here. And Moti will be happy to host you here along with a nice lunch.
Hope it was insightful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.